Hey, what's happening, everybody? And welcome to In My City Live. I'm your host, Tabitha Simmons, and usually I have my co-host here, Mr. Arkevius, but he is out on business. He's going to be out quite a bit. He's a motivational speaker, so you can find him out, speaking positive into the youth of our community. So if you're wondering where he is, there he is. Go jump on his page. I hope you guys are enjoying your Friday. It's the weekend, baby. You know what it is, and we ending it off on a good note. Today, I have a very special guest, as I always do, a phenomenal woman, if I must say so. She is a transitional, a certified. Come on now, certified transitional life coach. She's also a brand strategist, and she's also the CEO and founder of a company right next door, right next. She's my neighbor in Raleigh, North Carolina, called Boots to Heels. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this phenomenal queen, Miss Sandra Hardy. Hey,
Hey, how you doing? Hi
um,
Tabitha. Hi everyone. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So how has your week been?
Listen, now you beat me to the punch. We got to change that. Wait, you can't be in control over here now, Sandra.
You're freezing on my end.
No, you're good. You're good. It's been pretty good so far. So good. There's nothing to complain about at all. How is your weekend starting off?
I started off great. I'm here with you. So hey, it can't get no better than that, right?
Hey, you better let them know what it is. I'm so happy to have you. Listen, I've been pondering, and all I had to do was read your bio to find out. We're going to jump right into the interview today. We have you here for about 30 minutes or so. Usually time goes by fast. We're going to have a good time. I promise it won't be like an interview kind of thing. We're just going to conversate. And I want everybody to get to know you and get to know the wonderful and amazing things that you're doing in the community and that you're doing for other people. So to start it off now, when you talk about what is a transitional life coach?
Well, a transitional life coach is basically someone you're working with someone who's going through some type of change within their life. So basically, military, or maybe someone is coming in from being a working at home, or being at home, a housewife, and now they're going into the workforce, or maybe someone is changing their different careers or whatever what they're going through. That's where a transitional life coach comes into effect. But I also been working more in the business strategy part of it and the leadership part of being a coach and a strategist.
Okay, so it means exactly what it. I was having this conversation with my good friend and my brother actually. Like, what is a transitional life coach? And I was like, well, if I had to guess, I'm guessing it means exactly what you just said. It was. It's transitioning from one phase of your life into the next phase.
Right. Usually people have an idea of what they want to be or where they want to go, but they don't really understand or know how to get there. So they need someone to help them to break it down into smaller steps so that they can really see the picture, they see the bigger picture, but see the small increment steps that come along with getting to that picture. And so that's where a transitional life coach would fall into place.
Okay, so I see that your background, you are a military veteran.
I am. I
Yeah.
am.
So is
And,
this the
and
reason that you decided to become a transitional life coach, or this happened before?
Actually, my story started as far as because of the military. So in 2003, my life took a really turn for the worse in a chaotic and already heavy time of my life. I
Mhm.
was active duty. I was in the military, and I was preparing soldiers to go off to war when I received a phone call that changed my life forever. Basically, it was the Red Cross, and they would let me know that my mother had a massive stroke.
Mm.
So, Tabitha, at that point in my life, right then, I became immediately an instant caregiver. I became non deployable and eventually put off of active duty.
Mm.
So, at that point, that one phone call, my life, my destiny, and my future was just totally changed. And that took me to a spiral emotionally. I went
Mhm.
through depression. I went through. I was stressed out. I was anxious, overwhelmed, and most of all, I felt powerless. because at a time where I should be concerned about how I was going to care for my mother, I'm trying to figure out now how I'm going to take care of my mother as well as my son, young son, because at that point I was a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
But it was at that pivotal point in my life that something else happened, interesting occurred. Um, I transcended and I elevated myself into a new and higher place.
Mm.
And that's where my business was born. I conceived my company at that point, and I became a CEO of my own business at that point. And I took those leadership skills and I put them to becoming a great leader in my company, motivating my employees, as well as getting them to see one vision, one mission, and to help to see how to bring my company into full, to motivate them to be their very best. So that's where leaders come and hire me for, to help
Mm.
to bring their companies to that best.
Absolutely. So this is the company that you speak of. We're talking about the, is this
It's
the
boots
Boots
to
to
heels.
Heels?
It is.
What is it exactly? Come on. Now you gotta, I thought it was where you go and put on, the guys put on their boots and the women put on their heels and we have a good time, because I'm all for heels and good time.
So what that is I left the military, got out of my boots, and I got in the heels. I started in the working within the corporate world and working in my company. So that's where boots to heels came from. It's the story of my life, so to speak.
Yeah. Child, I had it all wrong. I'm just all in left, way in left field.
But you know
It
what?
was a
That
thought.
sounds fun, Tabitha.
It was the thought that counts. I thought it was line dancing or something. I'm getting ready. I
That's
was gonna say, sign me up.
the
So with transitioning, do you find it hard? Let's talk about the transitional life coach part. I'm really intrigued by this because this is the first time I've ever I guess formally heard somebody mention the title transitional life coach. So with
Mhm.
that, and you dealing with military, is it difficult for them, most military personnel, to transition from being in the military to becoming to retiring, or being out of the military and becoming a civilian again?
Absolutely.
Mm,
Because of the fact that in the military, we are structured. We're
mm-hmm,
very structured. We pretty much have regulations that govern everything that we do, pretty much, as well as, we have guidelines of, if you're at this rank, you're going to be this rank. You need to do this thing to get to this thing to be to that thing. But when you get out of the military, civilian life is not that structured. And depending on where you go to work at, the work environment is not going to be that way either.
mm,
And there's a whole lot of understanding, just different cues of how to speak, how to address others in the civilian world, especially women coming out of the military, because of the fact that we, in the military, we have to be so powerful. We have to speak so powerful. We have to speak with authority. And then a
mm,
lot of times, if you come out into the civilian world and you speak in that manner, you can be perceived as being angry. You can be perceived as being and are non-cooperative about
mm-hmm,
what's going on, and that's
mm-hmm,
really not the case. And just really to planning your steps coming out of the military. What is it that you want to do? What are the things that you need to take care of before you get out of the military? It's always better to start prior to getting out versus once you get out, because then you kind of, so a lot of people that fall to just get an education, but what do you get an education for? What is it your end goal? What is it that you want to be? What's your desires? What
mm-hmm.
gifts? What talents do you have? Can you put them into a business? Do you have to go work for somebody else? So these are questions and things that come up that you have to look at when you're transitioning.
Mm. So let's stop for a moment and go a little bit further back into the beginning of Sandra Hardy. Is this what you wanted to do, which was, I guess, in terms of going into the military?
When I would when I went into the military, I had not one thought at all of working for myself or starting another business. My thoughts was I was going to I was going to be in the military for 30 plus years, and then I was going to retire out, and then I was going to just live the grand life.
Mm,
But that didn't happen because of the fact of me having to get out of the military, being put out of the military. So I had to fight for just being able to get the few years I had left to actually say that I could retire. So I had to go into what they call the reserves to do that. So I was off of
Mm,
active duty, had to do the reserve, which means that I didn't get a retirement check until 60. So that was very devastating to me. And when I
mhm,
realized how much power someone else has over whether or not I could provide for my family or not, that's where becoming an entrepreneur came into place, because I said I would never, ever be at a
mm,
point to where I don't know how I'm going to provide for my family or to be
mm.
able to feed my family. And then I thought about how many other individuals out there, whether it be male or female, whether it be military or in the civilian life, that has to go through some those things, because even in the civilian world, especially,
Yeah,
they don't have to give you a reason to let you go.
that's right.
You just out,
That's
and if
right.
you don't have a plan B in place, then where are you? And even though I hate to tell people to call their business a plan B, because I like to flip that. Call the place where you work in a plan B. Call your business the plan A, because that's what
Hey,
you're going to build your legacy on. That's what you're going to build to be able to pass on to your family. That's the thing that's going to elevate you versus building somebody else's dream and pouring into somebody else.
absolutely. I I forgot who wrote the quote. If you don't pursue your dreams, then somebody else will hire you to pursue theirs.
That's right.
And I was working. I've always worked, and I started working. And the more after I read that statement, going into work became like a chore. It was from
Right.
that moment on for me. I looked at it differently. Like, I'm really working because somebody sat down in their basement probably one day and decided to come up with this company and said, I'm going to hire 17,000, and I'm one of the 17,000. I'm
And
one of the 17,000 that's making this person millions of bucks. Meanwhile,
exactly.
I'm at minimum wage, if not a little bit over. This is not going to
Right.
work for me. It's not going to work for
Exactly.
me.
And and I tell people, no matter how much money or how many bonuses you get or how much it is that you think you make it from that company, you're never going to make as much as the people that own that business. You're
Mm-mm.
never going to reach the higher level than what they do. But if you're putting all
Mm-mm.
that energy, into your own business, then you can see those reap those rewards of whatever it is that you desire to have.
Absolutely. So, do you do, besides the military? I know you talk about all types of transitioning. So, is that one of the main things you deal with, like transitioning from working for someone for all your life and then saying, hey, I would like to be an entrepreneur? Do you get many clients who are in that particular predicament?
Yes,
Wow.
and then try to figure out how what is it that they want to do, and that's
Mm,
still the same question.
yeah.
What is it that you want to do? There are many different ways that you can become an entrepreneur. You can get a franchise if you have the money to
Hmm.
be able to do that. There's multi-level marketing. If you're starting with a low amount of money, investment money, then you can kind of that's already, those two areas are already pretty much established.
Hmm.
They already have the name. They already have pretty much the ingredients and everything set up. It's like a business in a bag, so to speak. And then you can become, you create and become an entrepreneur in that way. Or you can take your gifts and talents, sit and see what it is that you have, and see whether or not anybody will pay you for that, and then build from that aspect. Now, that way you're building from the ground up. You're building, and you have to build your own like, no trust,
Hmm.
and your own audience. You have to know who your audience is, who you're speaking with, who you're talking with. But those are different ways that you can actually come out and from somebody else's business and come in. Most of the time people have the training to start their own business. It's
Hmm.
just fear that
Yeah.
keeps them from moving.
Mm. And what would you say if that, when that is the issue, and that is an issue that you notice being in the field that you are, and you notice that the only thing that's stopping them is fear? What advice do you give them?
What would you do tomorrow if they called you and told you not to come in anymore?
I'm gonna answer that because listen. I'm gonna blow up everything. I'm coming. Just let me come and get my stuff. My grandma picture is on the table. My kids' play stuff is on the wall with my child done drew her Thanksgiving hand. Let me come in and get my stuff. And I'm gonna knock everything down, like Cat Williams said, everything that I can afford that's in my bank account, I'm knocking down $77 worth of stuff. Cause you ain't finna just let me go. And you know, we as black people, and I'm gonna say it, we want our check. I don't care if I've been there 3 days. Show me where I can get my last 3 days check. That's what I'm gonna do.
Now, and just thinking about that, where would
Mm.
fear put you at that point? You
Mm-hmm.
know, so that gets them to at least move to another level, because so many people don't think about ever losing that job.
Mm-mm.
That's not a thought that comes to their mind. But I tell you what, COVID showed a
Ooh.
lot of people that that job can go.
Ooh
You know,
wee. I was just getting ready to ask you about that. So when COVID hit, I imagine you had a lot of people saying, "Hey, what am I gonna do?" Or I know there had to be a lot of people saying, "What am I gonna do? I can't go into my job." A lot of people lost their job. So what can I do?
um, the more of the question was, yeah, what could I do, or how can I, make some money? And
Mm-hmm.
then at that point, um, a lot of times it's still starting from scratch. So by the time you actually start making money, really, you're coming out of it. But it gave them, I think COVID more gave an eye opener of, I need to have something else, versus I'm going to be able to make a lot of money right now to pay for whatever it is that I need to
Mm-hmm.
pay for my family. Because you still, at that point, you have to you have to build up an audience. And if somebody is coming out with a mindset of an employee, you still have to change that mindset when it comes to becoming an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And that too takes work, because if you don't go into work, if you don't put in the work, you don't get anything out of it. Versus if you go into somebody's job and you don't put in the work, you're still going to get a check.
That's
Uh,
true.
so it's a mind, you have to start working with people's mindsets, as well as what type of business or what are they going to do.
The lack of security is scary. So I'd imagine that that does create fear amongst people who really want to step out, but the safety net that they've, had their entire lives with their job is looking really good against what they really want to do, which is step out into the unknown.
But you can still keep the safety net. Nobody
Mhm.
said to quit your job.
Mhm.
Start building your business while you have that safety net. Look at that company as your investor.
Mhm.
That, and instead of that job, look at it as your investor and start building your business at that point, and then while you have that, and once you've built up your audience, once you've built up the consistent income and revenue and you feel comfortable, then make that step out. I would never advise anyone to just boom leave their job and then they don't really have anything else set there. Definitely you want to, but you can still be doing something else prior to.
Absolutely. So you with this COVID, how did that affect you with what you were working on? Where were you in your life when, of course, COVID a couple years ago when it first kicked in? Where were you? Were you just starting your company with the CEO with the boots? Were you just starting
No,
that, or had
no.
you?
COVID hit 2 years ago. So I have started my company. I've been in my business since 2008. So when
Nice.
I started my company first, originally, I started as a personal brand coach, and then
Mm-hmm.
it transitioned and moved from that direction. So no, I wasn't new when
Mm-hmm.
COVID hit and that. So I pretty much was in there. I also was able to. I I was working online, so it didn't affect my business because I already had my business established.
Mm-hmm. So, um, with COVID not having any effect on anything that you have going on, the people around you, like, were you personally involved with others, not counting like what you do as a transitional coach, like just your personal space that were affected really badly with COVID and not being able to go into work and all that and all of that stuff? Did you see that around you? So I think what I'm asking is that, being that it doesn't seem to have affected you that much in a negative manner, were you around people that it did affect in a negative manner?
COVID affected, yeah, I'd seen a lot of people how it affected. Yeah, it did change whether or not people were going into work and
Mm-hmm.
moving around in work. Um, Also, the fact that me myself, I also have a federal position, but
Um,
I'm also I have a disability. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. So I have that income that was coming in as far as a 100% disabled veteran.
mm-hmm.
And so COVID affected me more in that way because it made me have to stay indoors.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me comfortable not having to go outdoors.
Yeah.
And so with that, mentally, that aspect of COVID affected because of the disabilities that I have.
Mm. Okay, I can understand it. And you mentioned you have a family, you have kids.
I have a grown son now. He's grown. He's in the military. He's in the Air Force. So yes, so I have one son, and so I'm happy with that. He followed the footsteps.
Yeah. So military is in your family, in your immediate family.
You know what? I was the actual first one in my family, and now my son has followed in that footstep. But his father was in the military as well. So
Hmm. Okay. All right. That's fair enough. So what is it? What are you working on right now these days? Are you writing a book? Are you, scheduling things that are upcoming? What are you working on right now?
what I'm working on right now, that is an awesome, awesome question, Tabitha. What I'm working on is actually I am in the process of creating a leadership course that I'm going to be launching. My hopes is to have it launched by August.
Hmm.
And that it will be a self-led course where
Mm.
individuals will be able to go in and be able to complete the course. I'm also working on getting more into the corporate arena. That's another thing that I'm working on as far as branching out the pillars of my company.
Hmm.
And more speaking, more getting out there, doing more podcasts, more getting in touch with individuals, getting out there and networking more as well.
Nice, nice. Well, it sounds like you have it all planned out. I love it. So, with working on that, what do you do for fun? What do you like to do to let your hair down?
I like to sit on the rooftop with a couple of girls and have a few drinks and just enjoy
I know that's
what's
right.
going on.
Absolutely, that's good
What's
stuff.
going on with
So,
that? Movies, just hanging out, small gatherings, not a lot of large gatherings, but more small gatherings. Mm.
tell me something. If someone asks, if we were to ask your friends, tell me about Sandra Hardy. What do you think they would say?
Um, I think they say she's strong-minded, straight to the point, um, caring, um, and and driven. My son says I stay busy. I'm always doing something. I
Mm.
said, "How you know I'm doing such and such? Because you always doing something, Mom. You're always working somewhere, doing something." So
Keeping busy. That's what's up. So I want you to this is your moment to shine. So what I want you to do is tell everybody how they can what you have going on, what's coming up, anything on your schedule that you'd like people to attend, social media, all that good stuff.
well, thank you, Tabitha.
Uh-huh.
Well, I do yearly. I do a conference called "Love Me Some Her." So just be on the lookout for that conference. It's happening on October the 29th, and it's really for women. It's strictly for women, and it's teaching about self-love. So, talking about teaching women how to appreciate themselves and how to invest in themselves and recognize that setbacks in our life are not what define our life, and that we can press forward. So that happens every year. So this year be October 29th. So love me some her. So when that comes out, I definitely give you a flyer for that, Tabitha.
Please
Um,
do.
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm under Boots to Heels. I'm in Facebook, Facebook.com, BZ, capital B, small Z,
Mm-hmm.
number two, capital H, small Z. You can find me there as well as IG under Hardy7048. I believe that is. And I'm there under Sandra Hardy, and if you're looking for a business strategist, or you're looking for a leadership coach or a transitional life coach, just go ahead and go and get on my calendar and let us talk. And that's bit.ly/capital BOOTZTOHEELZ, and we can definitely work it out because I can help you to get to your high level.
I didn't take a pause after that. Yes, that was amazing. I thank you so much. Listen, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but what you're doing is phenomenal. I would love to actually, if you could, definitely please send us a flyer to the event. I think it's, you said it's love. I love me some her, or love me some
Love me
her.
some her. Love me
Love me
some
some
her.
her. I would love.
Mhm.
And where's that going to be again?
It's going to be here is in Cary, at the Marriott courtyard of
Okay.
Marriott.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some phenomenal women speakers that'll be coming out and be
Mm.
speaking. It's also vendors that'll be there, some phenomenal women that'll be vending. And it's we just have a great time. There's tears flowing,
Oh yeah.
there's cleansing happening, and it's just a powerful time.
Yeah, I'm definitely
And you just froze on me, Tabitha. Yeah. I don't know if I'm froze, but you're froze, Tabitha. Uh-oh.
Hey,
Hey,
Lord have
hey.
listen, let me tell you. She y'all are witnessing some BS if I have ever heard it. When things are going so good, I'm sitting here talking and talking and talking with the interview. So I might look a little different because now I'm on my phone. My laptop just decided to just cut smooth off. I'm sitting here talking and talking. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it went to sleep. Nah, it didn't go to sleep. It turned completely off, but you are still here holding on,
I'm still here.
still here, holding on, baby. Listen,
I am.
I love it. I am so sorry about that. Listen, I wanted to send you out the proper way. I want to personally ask you the question that I asked all of my interviewees before I let them go is, Sandra, if you could look a younger you in the mirror right now today, what would you say to you?
I would say to myself, because of the things that I have gone through in my younger years, with molestation and um, with rape and those different things, I would say, hold on.
Mhm.
It's it gets better. Life gets sweeter. Trust in God. You're gonna make it.
Whew. Ma'am, you I'd imagine you've got one heck of a story. No wonder you are where you are right now. Because you have like one heck of a story just from you giving me just that little bit. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. But um, I know that everything happens for a reason. I believe that you meet people for different reasons. You are a phenomenal woman that I am so happy that I've had the opportunity to cross paths with, because I know that this will definitely not be the last time you see me. That's for sure.
Awesome, Tabitha.
Showing up. I'm showing up. It's something about your vibe. It's something about your energy. And I know you got a story, and I know you tell your story and how you've overcome. Something tells me you just do, and I want to hear your story, not for the sake of interview wise, but on a personal level to overcome some things on my own.
I understand totally.
Absolutely. I want to thank so very much for joining me on today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you. I want to also give props to my PR person for getting and hooking us up together. Thank you for Jennifer, Dr. Jennifer Champagne, for getting us connected together. Uh,
Absolutely.
it was wonderful meeting you, Tabitha. I've already connected with you on Facebook, and I'm definitely following you. And I can't wait to sit one-on-one and talk with you.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. Miss Hardy, thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best, love, peace, blessings, all that good stuff. And I hope you enjoy your weekend. Have a safe. Yeah, you ain't going down the bike week, are you?
No, 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 no.
I was getting ready to say, listen, if you want to stop by, I'll be here. I got my bags already ready. We can come together. Thank you so much, Miss Hardy. You enjoy your weekend and have a safe
Thank
and happy
you.
holiday.
You too. Be
All right.
safe.
Bye bye.
Bye.